Welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news channel brave enough to be unsurprised by Xbox's Game Pass price hike.
Yeah, I think a lot of people saw this coming. It was too good to last, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce, you even kind of explicitly called this a couple of months ago.
Almost exactly, unfortunately. Nobody's really keeping score but us. We keep score. So Game Pass is about to get a lot more expensive for you, the consumer, depending on where you use it.
That sucks. There's no other way around it. But hey, at least it's not all bad news today. We got a lot more info about changes coming to The Division 2, canceled Smash Brothers style game from the League of Legends developers, and surprise! The Switch set another record.
Wow. We've got spicy headlines from every corner of gaming on this week's Inside Games Roundup. But let's start with the spiciest, which means we need the Spice Sultan of South Austin. Brian, is that really your title? I didn't know that.
Woo, it is now. I love it. Yeah, we've got, you remember when they called Game Pass the best value in gaming? Well, Microsoft was like, challenge accepted. Yeah, they're raising the prices on Game Pass again. Oh, and big news, if you want day one releases, you're going to have to pay more if you're not on Ultimate.
Now Xbox just needs to launch a game for us to buy that.
Yeah, Microsoft made the announcement this week, running down all the improvements. I don't know what they called it that, but the new way of Game Pass going forward.
Yeah, here's the rundown. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is going up to $20 a month, $19.99, an increase of $3 a month.
That's not so bad, but $20 is kind of a perceptive barrier, I think. Eesh.
Mm-hmm.
PC Game Pass will go up to $12 a month, which is a $2 increase.
And they're adding a new Xbox Game Pass Standard, which will be $15 a month. And it, of course, replaces the old Game Pass for console, which was $4 a month cheaper. So this is significant.
Yeah, it really is. Another big change is that the new Standard Game Pass, boy, I think I'm pretty sure I said almost exactly this a few months ago, won't include day one releases for Microsoft games like Black Ops 6, Obsidian's Avowed, Bethesda's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So you're going to have to buy Ultimate for that.
Or get a PC, which we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this deal's getting worse all the time. I mean, we saw the clouds on the horizon, but it doesn't make it any easier. Luckily, we do have a better deal for you today, courtesy of our sponsor, HelloFresh. What a summer of games we got going on, folks. It's great out there. Whether you're dying a ton in Shadow of the Erd Tree or doing some seasonal grinding in the final shape. The only problem we all have now is that there's just not enough time for all these games. Luckily, HelloFresh is here to help delivering fresh quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week so you can savor summer flavors right from home. Give HelloFresh a try and choose from over 30 calorie smart or protein smart recipes each week. These are packed with fresh ingredients, everything arrives pre-proportioned and right at your doorstep. Less hassle and more And the best part? When you try HelloFresh, you'll unlock free apps for life. That's right, Factor even has your gamer snacks covered with free appetizers for life. One appetizer per box, that is. I tried the pretzel bites with cheese sauce, and it's got to be one of the top 10 late snacks of my life. So click our link in the description or use our code INSIDEJUL10 and get 10 free meals and free appetizers for life. That's one appetizer item per box while your subscription is active if you're in the US. Outside the US, the local discounts will still apply. Thank you for the support and for the delicious pretzel bites, HelloFresh.
All right, back to the Game Pass changes. The standard tier, as we said, will no longer have day one releases, but Microsoft, they're still being a little vague about it.
As Microsoft put it, quote, some games available with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on day one will not be immediately available with Xbox Game Pass Standard and may be added to the library at a future date. Oh boy, that could be anything.
That means no. That's like when your parents say, we'll see. It's not going to happen.
When you have to put a graph on your website telling people what the tiers do, it may be a little too complicated. So I was trying to suss this out, yeah. So the standard tier does include online multiplayer now, and that's not part of Game Pass for console, which basically means that Game Pass Standard is the new Xbox Live base plan for the console.
Okay, I'm confused, obviously, and I think that's what they wanted. Xbox kind of sort of changed Xbox Live Gold to Xbox Game Pass Core only 1 year ago. I remember this change, and it was also semi-confusing. And now they are rebranding again with a different price and set of features. So most of us are probably confused.
Yeah, I saw people on Twitter creating their own sort of checklists of what each tier did. So, yeah, not a great sign. And it gets even more complicated. Microsoft says that if you are currently a subscriber to Game Pass for console, you can keep your subscription, which includes access to day one games, which is great, but there are some caveats.
Yes, if you turn off automatic payment renewal and your membership lapses, you will not be able to sign up for Game Pass console ever again. So if there's ever a gap in your subscription, you're out and you'll have to join one of the new plans.
As Video Games Chronicle noted, this is the second consecutive year Microsoft has raised Game Pass prices. And it also comes after Microsoft denied allegations that it might raise prices after its merger with Activision Blizzard. So they said they weren't going to raise prices, and then they did. And that's what we said. We said that this would happen.
It's also worth noting later this year, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will launch on day one to Game Pass. Probably no coincidence at all that they're doing this. But yeah, to your point, they always say before mergers, every company, that prices are not going to go up, nobody's going to lose their job, all that, and it always happens. So just for future reference, when you ever see a merger happening, just know that it's always bullshit when they say prices aren't going to go up, because it always does.
Yeah, this is a bummer for Xbox console owners, because gosh, they're just getting relegated to the bottom of the pile in nearly every way. The platform's getting fewer exclusives. Platform's getting fewer even cross-platform games. People aren't porting to that. And now the users there have the most expensive subscription. This is the drum I've been banging for a while. Please get a PC, because competition matters. And you can see that because PC Game Pass still has day one, and it's cheaper than the cheapest tier for console that doesn't have it. So they clearly think that they still have customers to gain on PC. And at least on PC, they have to compete with everyone else, as opposed to on their own box, where they can clearly hold their customers a little bit hostage. So yeah, make the switch. It sucks, but it's a good investment.
Lawrence and I were talking yesterday, and maybe this is giving too much credit to Phil Spencer, but when Phil Spencer was like, no, we're not going to raise prices on Game Pass a few months ago, and then they did, this sounds to me like Papa Microsoft was like, Phil, we got to raise prices, and Phil Spencer was like, we can't do it. It's really bad for the consumer. And, Satya Nadella, they're a $1 trillion corporation that needs to continue making money. So they're like, we just spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard. We have to raise prices. And that's what it sounds like. That's what this sounds like to me.
That's so true, too, about PC. Like 2 years ago, I bought a gaming PC for like the first time in years. I don't feel like I've missed out on anything game-wise. It's been, and you just get showered with free games, too. Like Epic is like, here. And the Steam, it's great.
Competition working, which is, the consoles are kind of walled gardens, and that's kind of the point. So once you bust out of there, yeah, you can really scoop it up.
All right, let's move on to the Division 2. The Division 2 will reevaluate seasonal characters.
Yeah, Ubisoft says it will reevaluate a change that they were planning to do to seasonal characters in the Division 2 after there was a massive outcry from players.
Yeah, the controversy started last month when Ubisoft said it would be moving to a new seasonal character model where players would have to start each new season with a new character, kind of similar to what is done in games like Diablo 4. Starting that grind all over again.
Yeah, which means that each new season's content and story would only be playable as a new character. Previously, players could use their existing characters to play the content, so it's kind of a major change.
Yeah, and the Division 2 players were not pleased at having to start from scratch each new season, especially because that game's been out, 6 years now? I mean, it's a mature game. They're used to it.
This week, Ubisoft backed down. The internet won. Congrats. They said that they would reevaluate the prospect of starting each new season with a new character, adding that players will get more info after they have ironed out the finer details.
They also said that, quote, this change will not impact the previously announced Year 6 plans, so Ubisoft is kind of rolling back. I gotta say, good for them. They're at least listening.
People were happy in the responses to the announcement that they listened to them. So, it's good. It's good to change your mind sometimes in the face of massive opposition. Apropos of nothing to no one else.
Well, hey, speaking of changing your mind, this is kind of an interesting story. Apparently Riot Games, the maker of League of Legends, obviously, We're working on a fighting game similar to Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it was codenamed Pool Party, and the journalist Mikhail Klementov reported that it would have been set in the League of Legends universe and sort of that platformy Smash Brothers style.
Yeah, prototype apparently had 70 to 80 developers working on it, which is a lot. Sadly, it was canceled. After Riot executives saw the poor performance of a similar game, Warner Brothers free-to-play crossover fighter Multiverses, which I guess there was poor performance from that? I didn't know that.
From a Warner Brothers product? No.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre because it kind of took off and then immediately didn't. And so they pulled it back and then they tried to relaunch it. They kind of pulled every trick with Multiverses. And yeah, it sure does seem like it's got all the wind at its back. I have no idea how it's doing, but Warner's a hard beast to please, it seems. Similarly, Riot seems like they have high expectations. They're not canning everything, though. They do have another League of Legends fighting game in the works. It's officially titled 2XKO. It's an interesting title, I guess. It's set to release next year for PC and current-gen consoles.
And let's finish off by talking about the Switch, which has set yet another record. It is now the Nintendo console that has gone the longest without being replaced. Basically, it's been on the market for the longest of any Nintendo console without having a successor announced.
Yeah, money. That's because it keeps making money. The Switch launched on March 3rd, 2017. And as of this week, no successor console has been announced. That passes the record set by Nintendo's first console, the Famicom, aka the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, here in the US.
And we'll state the obvious, even though we're all feeling it. That means the Switch is really old, especially by technology standards. More than 7 years. Nintendo said that it will announce its next console this fiscal year at some point. But as of now, nothing's been set, so the Switch is the champion and it's what we got.
And its hardware was old when it came out. 7 years ago, I remember people at Rooster Teeth saying, this feels really old, but it was also awesome. The Switch, yes, has been a runaway success for Nintendo. I just checked the latest, more than 141 million units sold. That puts it behind only Nintendo's DS and, of course, the PlayStation 2 on the all-time list, but the PlayStation 2 is like 150 something, so it is very possible that the Switch will pass it. So it's just a beast. All right, let's do a 5-second review. I watched the trailer for this and I immediately felt too old and I didn't install, even though it was free. I can't. I was like, is this a hentai game or not? I don't know. I'm too old to know.
I know Lawrence and I both really liked it, and we both went, I don't think this is for us.
The first game to make me feel old and young at the same time.
All right, let's go to the coming soon video games for this week, the week of July 14th. Up first, Evil v. Evil. Live out your ultimate vampire power fantasy. Do I have that? As you carve, bite, and shoot a path through evil in this action-packed, bloodthirsty co-op shooter coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X July 16th.
Next up, we got Flock. This is a multiplayer co-op game about the joy of flight and collecting adorable flying creatures with your friends. Soar through beautiful landscapes, seeking out rare and elusive creatures to add your flock. Flock's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on July 16th.
Next up, Nobody Wants to Die. Lose yourself in the dystopian world of New York, 2329. Immortality comes at a price that someone has to pay. In this interactive noir story, lead the investigation using advanced technology as Detective James Cara, who risks it all in pursuit of a serial killer who targets the city's elite. Go serial killer. It comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and yes, presumably S as well, July 17th.
Up next, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. In Splintered Fate, brace yourself for fast-paced roguelike action where no two runs the same. With randomized power-ups, room layouts, and boss modifiers, the excitement never ends. Take control of all 4 Ninja Turtles, each wielding unique powers, and team up with friends for bodacious co-op gameplay. Explore iconic NYC locations, upgrade your turtle powers, and prepare to face off against formidable enemies. Comes to the Nintendo Switch, July 17th.
Next, we got Dungeons of Hinterberg. Armed with a sword and a tourist guide, explore the beautiful alpine village of Hinterberg and uncover the magic hidden within its dungeons. Master magic, solve puzzles, slay monsters, all this and more await you in Hinterberg. Games coming to PC and Xbox Series X and S on July 18th.
Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. The door to the great below has been opened, unleashing the gods and their armies of the dead. The lands of Kion are besieged, and the city of Dawn is on the brink of destruction. It's time for the Coalition army to fight back. Embrace vengeance, gunpowder, and magic as you embark on an epic journey to defeat the gods, close the door, and retake the world. It comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S July 18th.
Up next, Nintendo World Championships, NES Edition. Test your speedrunning skills. I don't know that I have those. Across more than 150 challenging moments from 13 classic NES games. Compete against players around the world online. Challenge your friends on the couch. Or try to see how far you can push your personal bests. Comes to Nintendo Switch July 18th.
Shim is a game about jumping from shadow to shadow in a relaxing and lively environment. This 3D platformer takes elements of light, shadow, and animation and adds them directly to the gameplay, delivering an experience you'll only find in Shim. This game is coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, and Xbox One on July 18th.
And last but not least, EA Sports College Football 25, or 2025 if you prefer. It's a college football game. It's designed for players of all skill levels. It has something called Campus IQ, which brings the explosive matches of college football to life as you test your strategic decisions and explore dozens of different play styles across the full rosters of 134 FBS teams. Take your team to victory in both coach and player modes across a variety of classic game modes and experience the atmosphere, rituals, and traditions of iconic college stadiums. It comes to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and I presume S July 19th.
Brian, you forgot about the feature where we could pay the players that when they
yeah,
play.
They're getting paid on this one now, I guess. They're back.
All right, here are some patrons. We have an Inside Games Patreon, and these patrons support that every single month. They're so well off, they could afford 2 Game Pass subscriptions. That's like $150 a month. Ryan Dareberry, Sherwin Sanchez, Monkey Butler's Nightport, Evan S. Compton, and Jonathan Lanowski.
Oh, I have some patrons that are extra posh. They have to take things to the next level. They're not even satisfied. They called up Microsoft and demanded an even more expensive tier of Game Pass. And that's up there. Baku Bomb, Nick Calderon, Tito 007, Dylan Hiley, Scotty Ryan, and Regulus, thank you very much for the support.